Good morning, good afternoon to wherever you are from. My name is Samantha Tig and I am Misty. That's spelled M-I-S-S-T parts. I help people to open and expand their minds. Okay, cool. So today we are talking about boundaries, how to identify a boundary, how your body tells you what a boundary is, and why it is so important for you yourself to uphold your own boundaries, because we know nobody else is going to do it for you. So before we get stuck in, can you please hit a like and a subscribe down below if you haven't already? Much appreciated. Thank you so much. Okay, awesome. So let's get into it. What is a boundary? A boundary is something within your own life that you do not want to do or makes you feel uncomfortable about doing. It can be anything. It is just when you want to say no, that is when a boundary is around. But now what happens within the society today, and what happens with a lot of people, is we think that we have to say yes, even when we really want to say no. Now that is crossing your own boundary and betraying your own boundary. Other people can also do it. For an example, if you're at a girl and you're out at a club, or if you're a guy and you're out at a club and someone comes in to try to kiss you and you really don't want that, or if someone comes and touches you, grabs your butt or something like that, and you really don't like that, that is a boundary that they've just crossed and just betrayed. It doesn't only have to be physical, it can go into a whole range of things. So it can be a mental boundary, or it could be a boundary at work, where you've always got this one co-worker who always comes to ask you for help. Even though you've got all your own stuff on your own plate and you're trying to get all your own work done, they always come and try and add one extra task for you to do of their job or their work. And you're feeling uncomfortable about them asking that of you in the first place. By you saying yes, you are betraying that boundary. Now, your body is a very, very, very intelligent thing. Not only your mind, but your entire body. They say that your gut and your heart have got more connections to your brain than your brain has to them. That's why your heart and your gut, they have got such a good communication with your brain, and they're so good to listen to as well. Because technically, it's like having three brains. You just got to know which one to listen to and which one is actually going to help you or not. So how your body tells you when a boundary is being crossed is it will give you physical feelings. You get that knot in your stomach that literally like runs all the way down your stomach, from here downwards, and it just tenses up. You feel a little bit sick inside. Like for me, I know that my shoulders get tense. Like I tense up hectically and I just go, no. Like that sort of feeling. That is your body telling you that that is a boundary of yours, whether it be emotional, whether it be physical, or whether it be mental. That is a boundary that you are needing to enforce, because nobody else is going to enforce it for you. Now, when you're in a relationship with someone, some boundaries will be crossed and some boundaries will not be crossed, but that will be up to you. So when you choose to let a partner walk over a boundary within a relationship, you need to be very careful, because every relationship, yes, it needs compromise from both sides, but also you've got to make sure that the boundary that you are allowing that your partner to cross isn't a personal moral core boundary. Something small where it's like, okay, cool, you know what, I don't really want to go eat at a seafood place tonight, but I chose last time, so let's go eat seafood tonight. I won't order a seafood dish, but it's just something like that, where inside you feel, no, I don't want to do this, but it's going to cause a lot less problems in the relationship if you do this, because you're now showing that you actually care about the other person's needs and wants. And hell, for all you know, they could have crossed a boundary for you to go out with pizza with you last time, if that's what you wanted. Boundary is extremely important, purely because if you do not have boundaries in life, you'll continuously be walked over. You'll continuously be feeling like you are giving more than you are receiving. And it's not very fair, to be honest. It's not fair on yourself, and it's not fair on the people that you're in relationships with, because by you not withholding your own boundaries, you create resentment against the other person for crossing them. Yet, how would they even know that that was a boundary that they're crossing if you haven't vocalized it? So, with my last relationship with my ex, I allowed him to walk over a lot of my boundaries, because it was easier to allow him to walk over those boundaries than it was to have fights about it, because he was the type of person that didn't have empathy for my boundaries and didn't care or show compassion that I was the one continuously giving up the date nights that I wanted to go out to for stupid things like sitting at home and doing nothing. And when I got promised all week long, we'll have a date night, I promise you we'll go on a date, and it'll be your choice, it's going to be your choice, Sam. And then All of a sudden, the date night gets there and it's like, you know what, I'm not actually feeling up to it, Sam, I don't want to do it. And that would cross a very, very big boundary in me. But that wasn't the only boundary that I allowed him to cross. I allowed him to cross physical boundaries, I allowed him to cross emotional boundaries, and I allowed him to cross mental boundaries within myself. I've learned a lot about being able to do that, and from that I've actually started enforcing every single boundary within my life. I need a voice in a relationship now, and this is a boundary that I'm enforcing no matter what. I will not back down on it. If this boundary is not met within my relationship, unfortunately, then this relationship is not healthy to me. Boundaries tell you where the healthy line to draw is. Boundaries is a sign for you to draw that line to say, okay, cool, this is healthy and this is not. So yes, boundaries are an amazing thing. Once you understand what your own boundaries are and your personal boundaries, and you understand that it is up to you and absolutely no one else to enforce them, boundaries are amazing. They are the basis of everything. Now, boundaries can be very, very, very difficult. You can have a boundary where, like with your partner, cool, you know what, I like it when my partner comes and gives me a tight hug, but I don't like it when my partner comes and hugs me and pushes me up against the wall. That's a no. So boundaries can be a very, very delicate procedure where it's yes on some part, but you just go too far and it's a no suddenly, and it can be a minor difference, a very, very minor difference. But at the end of the day, it is still up to you to enforce that boundary and communicate it, no matter who you are communicating it with. Whether it be your boss, whether it be a co-worker, whether it be a parent, or whether it be your lover or a friend. Anyone. You have to enforce your own boundaries. So, just a quick recap. Boundaries. How to enforce them is basically saying no. Say no when you feel no. How to identify them is when you feel that in your stomach, you feel your heart and your lungs just clench up, I tend to start holding my breath as well, and my shoulders tense up, and your body's saying no. That is a boundary. Listen to it, try to understand whether it was coming from a place to keep you safe, or whether it's a little bit of a selfish boundary. Once you understand the difference between a selfish boundary and a boundary that keeps you safe, then you can understand which ones to start enforcing and which ones to start lacking a little bit and allowing to bend the rules and stuff. But in the same breath, the ones that protect you and keep your mental health, physical health, emotional health intact and in place, those are the ones you should never, ever, 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 ever back off of. Cool. So this is just a quick short one on boundaries, a quick one on how to identify them, and a quick one on why they are so important. Hope you guys have an awesome day. If you haven't, please click like and subscribe down below with more content and tips from life that I have learned the hard way. And I'm trying to teach you so you don't have to learn the hard way either. Over and out, guys.